So we were just talking before we hit record on this reaction episode of Bearded Banter to the NHL series about all this other stuff that's going on that I'm reacting to with the World Cup. All over
Yeah,
is talking about different cultures coming to the United States and seeing different things happen. It's pretty amazing. And we saw the same, I think, story about the Japanese fans at a stadium cleaning up after the game was over, the match.
yeah,
I'd say.
yeah. So they played the Netherlands and it was in Dallas. And after the game was over, they all brought trash bags and every single Japanese fan was picking up trash, which it was in Dallas Cowboy Stadium. That's 30 years of garbage to go through. That's a lot of trash. So good on them. Very good on them.
Little jab at the Dallas fans.
But no, in all seriousness, that's super cool. Super, super cool. How respectful. I wish that more people would blow that story up all over the news and all over social media and show that like there's still a whole lot of good going on in this world. It just gets overshadowed by people's recklessness and just arrogance. So
Right.
good on the Japanese people. And also with that, Jameis Winston, he was broadcasting for that game.
Oh,
He
really?
joined the Japanese fans in cleaning the stadium. They
That's
caught him
awesome.
out there helping out, and that's awesome.
That's definitely on brand. I just realized I didn't have the microphone over here. Probably why you couldn't hear me.
I was wondering why you sounded so far away for a second.
Yeah, Jameis Winston. It seems like he's that kind of guy too. Like, and I heard one of the comments from a Japanese fan saying like, "Well, the United States has been so hospitable. It's been such a wonderful experience that we just want to pay it back, pay it forward." And so it is this
That's
really
awesome.
neat moment of kind of World Cup centered peace and coming together. It's neat. See, I don't know if you saw the scenes from from Boston and all the Scots joining
Yeah,
Bostoners and going to the Red Sox
yeah,
game up there. So
yeah, I
cool. They're
did. That was
chanting
so
through the
cool.
whole game, just singing songs and having a blast.
Yeah.
Playing,
I was talking to with a coworker about this the other day, but sports at this level, at this stage, it's a very rare opportunity to show the whole world, whether what side, doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on, doesn't matter what religion you believe in, what ways of life you have, whatever the case may be, it doesn't matter. We can all coexist and we can all do it in a manner that everyone gets what they want and is at least satisfied with what's going on. And sports is a fantastic, fantastic way to represent that. So it's been very, very cool to see the unification of people coming together. Even though it's just for a game, it's much more than a game when it gets to that kind of a level.
yeah, yeah. The game is the reason. I think a long time ago I heard my pastor say the mission is the thing that brings the people together. So the mission almost becomes, in this case, the mission is win a World Cup, right? It brings all these different people together. And when we see people coming together and treating each other with kindness and respect, and hopefully we'll continue to see that, we see that it's possible. It's possible to come together for something you're passionate about, right? It's something that you want your team to win. Nobody's going to stand out there and go, yeah, I don't care if my team wins or not. They want their team to win. And at the same time, they're going, hey, let's clean this place up. Let's take care of the town world. Let's appreciate the things that aren't even about soccer, about football, and enjoy ourselves in a way that's praiseworthy, if I can say it that way.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. It's been wonderful to see. And it makes me, as a person that doesn't know much about football on the global scale, want to learn more about the sport and be more involved in the sport.
Yeah.
I watched the finals a few years ago. I'm watching them a lot heavier and a lot more this year. I was just watching the Saudi Arabian Uruguay game right before we jumped on. Been
Yeah.
watching every game that I possibly can. Like it's just so crazy because it's the fans of that sport are just a different level than any other fan base of any other sport that I've seen. And
Yeah.
it's cool. I want to be a part of that.
Yeah, right. I feel like your fandom is is built for that kind of what are they? There's a different term for fans of soccer, like supporters. That's what it is, supporters. And so I feel like you are a supporter. You just need to get behind the right club in soccer, and we'll see Wes on full blown supporter mode.
Well, I'm sure if I talk to a couple of buddies from our Sunday gatherings, they'll have opinions about who I should be
Oh,
following.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. I can think of a couple right now.
Shout
Be a
out Dave and Josh and Sean. I hear their voices ringing in my head already.
Oh yeah, it'll be all over the place. Probably getting you jerseys, kits, whatever we want to call them.
Yeah.
So, you know me. I'm an early to bed guy. I went to sleep, didn't watch the game, but I checked the scores and the highlights, and I wanted to get a reaction. Now we haven't talked about this at all. This is
No.
raw reaction. I'm wondering,
Yeah.
Wes. Last time we talked, prediction was Vegas takes the
Was
next
gonna
two.
go.
They're gonna
Yep.
go. They're gonna take the rest of the series. Turns
Yep.
out, didn't go that way. Went quite the opposite.
No. Yeah, it did. It did.
So how you feeling?
Um, I feel fine. I feel fine. I posted this in a fan group that I'm a part of on Facebook for the Golden Knights at the end of the second period last night because it was very clear that the game was over at
Oh,
halfway through the second period.
you could
Vegas
tell
looked
by the
gassed.
gameplay. Okay.
That Vegas looked gassed. Vegas looked tired. Uh, William Karlsson, a major player for Vegas, was injured and out again. So they had to shift the lines around, and a lot of guys that hadn't played in a long time were playing for the first time, and the gas had just ran out, and it was evident. They looked tired, they looked exhausted,
Mm,
and they looked like they had no more fight left in them. But I feel fine because Vegas this is year 9 for Vegas,
yeah.
and we've been to the playoffs every single year but one. We've made 6 Western Conference Finals appearances. We've won 3 Western Conference Final series. We've been to 3 Stanley Cups, and we've won a Stanley Cup, all within the course of 9 years.
Right.
There are fan bases and fans like the Sabres. First time they've made the playoffs in 20 years.
Yeah.
So they're Montreal Canadiens. They haven't won a Stanley Cup in 30 years. There's fans out there in fan bases that will never see their team succeed or have the level of success that Vegas has. So I am just grateful that I get to see this as a fan. And two, I also got to see greatness displayed by the Carolina Hurricanes.
Mm,
So all congratulations to them. They earned it. They
yeah.
have been on the cusp of this cup for 8 years. They have been right there 8 years in a row. And instead of giving up and falling apart, they were the true definition of persistence and togetherness. And they earned it. This was very well earned, especially for guys like Jordan Stahl, who's now the oldest player to ever win the Conn Smythe. Freddie Anderson has been in the league forever, finally got a cup. Taylor Hall was a #1 overall pick, was considered a bust. He's got a cup, so now all of that's up. There's a lot of good things that came out from this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm not angry at all. Vegas
Yeah.
wasn't supposed to be there in the first place.
So you're very much congruent with what you said in our last episode about how you would feel if it went the other way. You know, these guys on that team, on the Hurricanes, are each trying to win a cup, each with their own story, each with their own journey. And so you can be happy for either team having the success that they've had, one more than other this year, but nonetheless, a great season to be grateful for as a Golden Knight fan. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
100%.
I don't know where this next question is going to go. But you know, if you're a longtime viewer of the pod here, you'll remember Sayla showing up a few episodes ago. And she sent me a text today and she said, this is all it said. Ask Wes about Carter Hart. I have
Okay.
no idea what that means. So I'm asking it basically in total ignorance.
So Carter Hart is the goaltender that we signed about midway through the season.
Okay.
Carter Hart has a lot of controversy behind him. He was originally playing for the Philadelphia Flyers. And at one of the previous, I think it was one of the previous Olympic Games, him and four other players were accused of sexual assaults.
Oh no.
And all four of them got taken out of the league for 2 years. And as of this summer, they all got determined that they were not guilty.
Okay.
I can't remember if it was because of a settlement or whatever, but they were all determined that the case was closed and
Hmm.
they were deemed allowed to go back into the NHL and play.
Okay.
And Carter Hart was the biggest face of that because he was a rising star for the Flyers
Mm.
and he was looking for a redemptive year, which Vegas has been the pinnacle for, has become the pinnacle for, I should say. So Vegas took a chance on him and they signed him. He played all right for the first few games, but he got hurt and he missed most of the season. He came back not too long after John Tortorella got hired, and he played lights out all the way up until the Stanley Cup Finals. But there is a lot of controversy behind him because a lot of people don't agree with the sentencing that he got. People
Yeah.
think that he shouldn't be allowed to play no more. There's people in the stadium there most recently, there's a lot of people chanting at him no means no while the game is going on.
Okay.
So there's still a lot of controversy behind the guy because
Sure.
people will have their opinions. And so my opinion on Carter Hart is I wasn't there. I'm not going to sit here and say I followed the case thoroughly.
Right.
I gave you a very generalized version of it.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm missing a lot of important details. I haven't dug that far into it.
Gotcha.
So I'm just going to go on the thing basis of I have to trust the justice system to make the right call. I have to trust them to do the right thing, and I hope that they did do the right thing in the terms of Carter Hart and the parties involved. As far as Carter Hart, the player, I think he's great. He's not the best goalie out there, but he's worth keeping around.
Mm. And we've seen that in other sports as well, different key players, good players, rising players, or stardom level players that they're personal, they've got turbulence of massive proportions in their personal life, yet they continue playing their professional, and in one sense they continue working their job while they're
Yep.
trying to figure out how to handle that personal stuff. So I think that there's a I was totally incompetent when it comes to the story. Thank you, Selah, for throwing me the bomb of
Yeah.
a question in here. But I think it's one of those things that's important to talk about when you're talking about sports. Is these are human beings working a full time job that is athletics in the public eye, and so
Yes.
my opinion on it is kind of similar to yours in the sense that these individuals are highly gifted, highly talented, and because they're in the public eye, we have oftentimes a stronger narrative being written for us by headlines than we would for anybody we live near or around who might be going through the same thing. So I think it's important to recognize like where we sit in the on the bus of this life, what we get to see, what we don't get to see, and sometimes with there is something to be said for with great influence comes great responsibility. So leaders on the field or on the ice or on the pitch, wherever they are, they do have an additional responsibility to set a standard for others. And it sounds like um, in this situation, it's been a turnaround at least for him. And I was worried you were going to say there was another thing that came up this year where something happened, and it sounds like he's got to figure it out, and we'll leave it to him and his lawyers and all the professionals to figure it out with him, just like we would the guy living down the road for who's working 9 to 5 doing his own thing. They're not
Yep.
going to fire him because he did something stupid or didn't, and
Yeah.
it's an allegation. So
Right.
yeah, well, the season is now over for our Golden Knights and the Hurricanes. I'm sure they're not disappointed in the season they had. They're probably disappointed in the result of the Stanley Cup Series, but excited with their play and the success they had this year. And we get an off season now to be thinking about all the great acquisitions the Knights will have because of their tax-free status out there in Vegas.
Yeah. that that rumor pool just got deeper the other day because while it's not been officially confirmed by anybody within the NHL media, it's widely regarded as a trusted opinion in the NHL media. Connor Hellebuck, the star goal from Team USA, who was making the ridiculous saves against Team Canada, star goalie for the Winnipeg Jets, has reportedly asked for a trade out of Winnipeg as well. And he has given three teams that he'd like to go to because
Of
he has got
course.
a full no trade clause as well. And he wanted to go to Florida, the Florida Panthers, the Tampa Bay Lightning, or the Vegas Golden Knights. Those
And
were the three teams that he listed.
and those two states do have that key common denominator of tax-free status, right?
Tax-free status,
They're going to
state
have,
free, no state income tax. Yep.
yeah, it's going to be beneficial for finances at least to go to
Yes.
those two states.
Yeah.
So, well, what would that do to the team if they got him?
Oh, uh, if we got, you saw how good. If anybody watched the golden medal, the gold medal game for Team USA and Team Canada, you know how good Connor Hellebuck is. If anybody who watches hockey regularly knows who Connor Hellebuck is probably one of the better goalies we've had of this generation. He's
Hmm.
up there with guys like Marc-Andre Fleury and Bobrovsky and all that. He is just lights out, but he's
Wow.
on a bad team. He's on a very bad team and a badly. It's much similar to the Dylan Larkin situation
Right.
where he's been there forever. He was drafted by the team. He's stood by the team. The only difference is Hellebuck is not a captain. He is a very important piece of that team, though. And now people are going to just say, well, of course he wants to go to Vegas. Well, if you're anybody that wants to get traded from an organization because you're just sick of being on a bad team, you don't want to go to another bad team, especially you have control over that.
Right.
And now there are other teams that could possibly come into play, like the Dallas Stars, who was in Texas, another no state income tax state. That's another possibility. The Carolina Hurricanes are now going to become big favorites because they just won the cup.
Yeah.
But, of course, Dylan Larkin, and Connor Hellebuck want to go to these contending teams. Of course, they want to go to Florida, the Florida Panthers. Florida Panthers were back-to-back Stanley Cup appearance winners not
Hmm.
a year ago. They won it two years in a row. That's tough to do, and they'll be right back in it next year. The
Yeah.
Tampa Bay Lightning, they're always right in it. Vegas Golden Knights, they just went in six in the Stanley Cup. So I understand why people want to be mad about these star players saying they want to go to a juggernaut team, but it's in hockey particularly, I feel like these players have done their due diligence. They've earned the right to say, all right, I've tried. I gave it all I could here. I'm done. I need to go contend for a cup.
Yeah.
That's why I play this game.
In contrast to our previous episode's conversation around basketball and the NBA, where it
Yes.
almost feels like it's just bounce around, bounce around, bounce around, kind of price tag friendly movement. Now, I'm I'm also sensitive to after hearing that is Hallebuck, right?
Hmm.
His stock is now real high because of the Olympic performance. Not that it
Yes.
wouldn't be before that, because it sounds like he's an all-star player. But if if I'm in if I'm in recruit mode, I'm going to be looking for those that are on a hot streak or who are at the peak of their performance.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that he'd be like, okay, now's the time. I'm going to find somewhere to go that I can really take my skills all the way. Love you, team. Been here for a while, but got to make the tough
Yeah.
choice. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
So,
mean, just like you were saying with the basketball, with NBA, these players typically stick with their teams for a year, 2 years, if that, and then they're like, "All right, I'm out of here. See you later." Like that's another reason I hate to bring it back up, but Kevin Durant's the reason. He's the big, he's the first one I always think of. When he left Golden State, he went to go play for the Brooklyn Nets, and he went there for 3 seasons, and he brought all sorts of star power there. Kyrie Irving and DeAndre Jordan, James Harden. He brought all these star players over there, but he never won. He never did anything. They barely made it into the playoffs. Now, take it for granted they were never on the court all together at the same time because a lot of them were injured on and off. But still, after 3 years of that, he was like, "All right, I'm out of here," and then he went to go play for Phoenix. So now, if you're Brooklyn, you spent all this capital, all the draft, all of these picks. You spent all this time and effort to get this guy here to bring his buddies over here, and it was all for nothing.
Hmm.
At least with the NHL guys, in these two cases, Dylan Larkin's been there 11 years. Connor, I can't tell you off the top of my head, but Connor Hellebuck has been a Winnipeg Jet only. He's never gone anywhere else. He signed after the rookie deal there.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a matter of do your due diligence. You can sit there and say, I actually tried to bring a title to this town. Mitch Marner, the guy who just came to Vegas last year from Toronto, was there for 9 years. Tried, got very close a couple of times, but it never worked out. So at what point as a player do you say, I've tried, I need to go chase a cup?
Right. And that's where I think, because I know you to be a loyal supporter of the team. And so that's where the rub is for you. That's where the rumble is. It's in the idea that give the team a chance. Give the team a chance to grow with you, to grow around you, to build towards something. And then if it doesn't work out, you're justified in the movement. If and
Yeah.
whatever that time frame is might be different, but it's not 2 or 3 years.
Right. And for me, I feel like 4 years, 5 years, that's a good enough time frame to say, you know what? We tried a different bunch of different things. It just ain't working. All right.
Yeah.
Because that's just about the average contract for like an NFL player. Like after this year, switching to the NFL, CJ Stroud is a big talk. They haven't signed Stroud. Why aren't you signing Stroud? Well, it's because they're trying one more time. And after this year, if it doesn't work out, I think Stroud's going to be out. I
Hmm.
think Stroud will be out of Houston. And it's not because that he was a bad player. It just didn't work out.
Right.
Houston has tried everything. CJ is trying everything. They've tried coordinators, player acquisitions, and they've done it all. After this year, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. How much longer are we going to try?
Yeah. And the other side of that is how often do you see a quarterback go from one team, a good quarterback go from one team to another team, and all of a sudden the chemistry strikes and it's like, bam, Super Bowl. Something like that could happen for that.
Sam Darnold,
Yeah.
Sam
Um,
Darnold, Baker Mayfield, Jameis Winston, they're all guys that have switched teams and they just lit it up.
yeah. Yeah. Tom Brady.
Tom Brady, yeah. As much as people want to hate it, it's true. Like that was at the end of its rope, and he wanted one more ring, and he went
Yeah.
and got it, and
Yeah.
he did it, 100%.
Yeah, a lot of stories out there. So what else are we going to tonight? I know we got the raw reaction of the series. We got a little bit of World Cup sprinkled in here. What else are we bantering about?
So I'm gonna switch up gears because now that the season is officially over
Switch
for
it.
Vegas,
Oh, here we go.
it's time to get back
There
into
it
football
is.
gear here.
There
It's
it
time to get
is.
back into NFL gear here.
All right.
But as far as tonight, let's talk about the PWHL,
Let's do
the
it. And
Professional Women's Hockey League.
the Pro Women's Hockey League. What's
Yes.
the what's the newest news for the update? I know we just touched on it at the end of our
Yeah.
last episode. But where
Yep.
is it? Where is it now? What can we look forward to? Why would somebody want to be paying attention to the PWHL?
So the PWHL has been around for 3 years now. They just finished up their third season where the Montreal Victoire beat the Ottawa Charge for the Walter Cup, which is their version of the Stanley Cup. And I think it's kind of funny that a Canadian team for the women won the championship faster than the men have, because it's been 30 years for the Canadian teams to win a Stanley Cup. But that's neither here nor there. But I feel like the
You're gonna
PWHL,
get us some hate from the Canadian viewers tonight. I think Canadian hockey
hey,
fan
they're
viewers.
close. They're close.
Yeah.
They are close. The Canadians made it deep this year. I think the Oilers will be right back. But the PWHL has started off with 6 teams. They're now up to 12 teams. As of this year, they added 4 more teams to this league, which is bananas.
They're growing
So
fast.
they are. So they added Hamilton, which is in Canada, Las Vegas, San Jose, and Detroit.
Okay.
And already, so there's New York, there's Boston, Minnesota, Ottawa, Montreal, Toronto, Seattle, Vancouver. I'm missing a couple others here, but either way, they've been rapidly expanding, and it's kind of cool to see because there's a lot of women's talent in
Hmm.
the hockey realm, and they deserve a professional platform to play and to be celebrated on, just like the men. And out of all the women's sports that I have been watching, which is mostly between the WNBA and the PWHL, the PWHL is they're like the men's hockey team. They care more about the sport than they do anything else. The WNBA is just they're trash, and I have a lot of disrespect for those guys. I do. I really do.
We're not getting away from the we're not getting away from the disdain for the basketball, the pro basketball leagues, are we?
No, no, we're not. And I hate to say it, but I mean, the WNBA has such a fierce and glorious opportunity to finally be really, really popular, and they're destroying their own opportunities because they don't like Caitlin Clark, and that is just distasteful in every sense of the term. Whereas the women's hockey league, they seem to just get better and better every year. The competition is getting fiercer, and they care about the sport. That's all you hear about when these women are talking about the teams, the games, the drafts, and all that stuff. They're just talking about how it's so great that they have a platform to finally show their talents to the world, and they're hoping that they can continue to build on it. And they have been. And they have been. Four
Hmm.
expansion teams is a lot for any league, but especially for a startup league, that's crazy.
Yeah. So who are if you know, I don't know if you know yet or if they've really stood themselves up as stars of the league yet, but are there individuals that we should be paying attention to, listening for their names, keeping an eye on them as they're playing their games?
Yeah, so Emily Clark is one of them. I believe she is a defender. She played for the Ottawa Charge, and now I think in the expansion drafts, she got signed somewhere. Um, I think she got signed to Hamilton, if I am correct on that. Hillary Knight is another one. She is a forward. She has been, she's on the older side, but she has been one of the more decorated hockey players in the women's league for many, many years.
Hmm.
Um,
Yes, you're right. She's playing for Hamilton.
yes, yes, she did play for Ottawa, and she got drafted into uh Hamilton. Megan Carter, that's another really good one. She's a defender. She was with Seattle last year. Um, but there's so those are just a couple of the names to keep an eye out for.
Okay.
But I heard this year from one of their sponsored podcasts that they have, I think, they said that this year's draft has almost double the amount of players entering into their draft than in years past. I think this year they have like almost 300 women that are declaring for the PWHL draft,
Hmm.
which is great because this is the only major platform that women from around the world can play professional hockey and actually make a living at it. And that's wonderful to have that kind of a platform. So, I mean, you got to think of all the players that played in Milan from all the other countries, Canada, Russia, Switzerland, Czechoslovakia, all those Europe, all those countries, they now have a place to come play where they're going to be able to shine on the brightest stages, and that's awesome to see.
Yeah. And you know what? I don't know. I don't think you said this, but if you're looking to get more info and dial in on that draft, it looks like it's happening just in a couple days as we're airing
Yes,
this.
very soon.
Today as we record this, the
Yep.
draft for the PWHL is just 2 days away.
Yep, I'm
in
looking at it right now. June
Fox
14th at
Theater in
12.
Detroit, Michigan. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So it says here that the expansion teams are allowed to build their rosters to 10 players through signings and, if necessary, a player selection process. Eligible players are those not signed, protected in phases 1 through 3. So it looks like we're on phase 4 now, which is the expansion signing period,
Okay.
which allows teams to build their roster to 10 players. And then it doesn't say anything about phase 5, but I think there is like a 6 phase process for this expansion for these teams to get their players all set in order.
Okay. So, folks, if you're looking to dial in on a upcoming league that looks like they're doing some incredible things for female athletes, tune in to the PWHL. I'm looking at the website now. It
Yeah,
looks exciting.
yeah. And the other really awesome thing about the PWHL is it's free. It's free to watch. They don't have a paid subscription wall. They have all of their games air live on YouTube, and
Oh, okay. I was going to ask
they
where do you go to watch? Yeah.
yeah, you can watch them all live on YouTube, and they've made a couple of deals in the Canadian markets to get them on public TV. ESPN has aired a couple of the PWHL games. So like that's major. That's major right there because the WNBA you have to find behind a paywall somewhere, which is not something I'm going to do for mediocre game.
Well, and I'm sure I wonder how long a league this is a league that's expanding rapidly. They need to pay their players. They need to get the, sponsorships and things like this. So I'm sure at some point it'll go to a paid, some kind of paywall.
Oh, yeah.
But for right now, you can support them by logging into the YouTube channels, watching the games, subscribing, following, and earn them some cash as we continue watching and generate some
Yeah.
momentum for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's there's nothing wrong with having more sports going on.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that at all,
Right.
especially for women, because I feel like that's something that has been a dark shadow in the sports realm for a long time that's finally starting to get its light of day, and they deserve it. They work just as hard as the men do. They train as hard as the men do. They put all of it into it just like the men do. There's no reason why we can't celebrate them just like we do the men.
Hey, I love this on their site. They have PWHL 101. You can watch episodes to
Yes.
learn all you need to know
Yes.
about the
I love them.
PWHL. This is neat.
Yes.
It's
And
got
they
kind
have
of an
like their
old
own little
school.
cartoon to go with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's awesome.
It's got a little Fallout look to it. Like
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
The
cool.
Nuka-Cola guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And they'll play that stuff in between periods of games and stuff like that.
Okay.
So they keep up on it. And the best part of the one of the better parts about PWHL, I've watched a lot of the games over the past 3 years. The amount of children at these games is fantastic.
Hmm.
You're literally building up this new platform for the professional women to have a place to go. But at the same time, like you have daughters, I have a daughter, a very, very small one. You know,
Future hockey player.
that's right. Like I can now sit there and say there's a future in this for you, an actual future. That if this
Right.
is something that your daughter wants to go do, you can say, yeah, let's go.
Yeah,
Whereas
it's the
before,
opportunity is present. Yeah.
yes, yeah. And I think that's the biggest thing is the opportunity is there. And it's that, again, that
Hmm.
unification of bringing people together to say, hey, we can do this. It can work. We don't need all this outside noise and negativity. We can make this work. And then PWHL has proven it.
Yeah.
Maybe the WNBA should take some notes.
So we should put when we post this, we'll put the link for the pwhl.com in the show
Yeah,
notes below it. So if anybody's interested, they can
yeah.
go there and check it out for themselves.
Yeah, we'll put all the links to their individual teams too, because each individual team has a YouTube channel.
Yeah. You can comment on this episode. Which team are you going to be supporting? Which team are you going to be wearing the hat for
Yeah,
as you watch the
I have
bearded
I
banter?
have not picked a team yet. I have not picked a team for the PWHL, not yet.
Uh,
I'm curious to see.
I'll have to wait until there's a Buffalo team.
So the closest thing right now is the New York Sirens. That's the New York Sirens is the New York team right now.
Okay. So that
and
might be
that's the
my team.
closest
We'll
one.
have to see. There's all kinds of
Yeah,
those internet-based surveys that tell you which team you should be cheering for. I'm not a big fan of those, but I like to
no.
just go with the home team.
Yeah, see, I'm the opposite. I normally jump into a league and I'll pick the newest team. That's been the trend, is I'll
Hmm.
pick the newest team. It's how I ended up with the
Yeah, I was
Texans. It's how I ended up with the Golden Knights,
gonna say that lines up both expansion teams. Yeah,
both expansion teams. And there's four more expansion teams coming to the PWHL. Who knows? Maybe this year I'll pick a team. I haven't been partial to any of them. I've been enjoying all of the games equally.
yeah, yeah. Well, this could be the year that you pick one. This
Could
could
be.
be, could be.
I am partial to Vegas. I will say.
I was gonna say,
Little partial.
that lines up. That lines
Little
up.
partial.
What are
But,
they? The
we'll
Vegas
see.
what? Are they
They
what's their mascot?
they don't have that announced yet. They'll right now all four expansion teams are just PWHL, Las Vegas, Hamilton, Detroit, and San Jose.
All
They
right.
said that will be announced right before the season starts.
This is gonna get you excited. I'm gonna read this. This is from the introduction banner on their website of the Las Vegas expansion team. Greetings, Las Vegas. Big dreams have always found a home in this desert oasis. That story continues with the launch of our 11th and newest team, PWHL Las Vegas. Set to hit the ice in the 2026-27 season at T-Mobile Arena. We're excited to have you with us as we grow this dream together. That's got Wes
Yep.
written all over it, man. That's got
In
Wes.
Vegas, as of 3 hours ago, they hired a head coach. Her name is Kim Weiss. I just pulled it up. Yep.
Kim Weiss sounds
Kim
eerily
Weiss.
familiar. Sounds kind of like Wes Rice.
Weiss joins it after spending the last 2 seasons with the Colorado Eagles, the American Hockey League affiliate of the Colorado Avalanche, where she became the second woman in AHL and NHL history to serve as an assistant coach in a full-time role.
Hmm.
So that's pretty cool.
That
That's
is
pretty
pretty
cool.
cool. What else goes
That's
into
pretty
your
cool.
decisions? Like what are the key factors in you deciding which expansion team to
It's so
select?
stupid. It's so bad. It's so dumb. It's literally, my brain is so simple. It's whoever's got the coolest logo.
Is it? Is it?
Literally.
Okay,
Literally.
so
That's
Vegas,
all it
you've been
is.
put on notice. If you want West to be one of your key supporters, you better come out with a great logo.
I gotta say, like, if when I became a Golden Knights fan, I was down before Vegas was announced as a team. I was watching hockey for like a year or two before that, trying to pick a team. I was ironically down to four teams. Ironically, one of them was the Hurricanes. I
Okay.
was I was partial to the Hurricanes, the Avalanche, the San Jose Sharks, and the Dallas Stars. Dallas got axed almost immediately just because Cowboys, I don't want any affiliation with that. But Dallas Stars are not owned by Jerry Jones, which is why they're successful. At me if you want, it's the truth. Um, I wanted to go with San Jose originally because I thought the Sharks logo was really cool because they have a shark biting through a hockey stick. I loved the turquoise teal colors they had. It was really, really cool. And my wife was like, "No, one of my exes was a fan of them, so you can't be." And I was like, "All right, well that
Okay.
ended that."
Important.
And
That's an
then
important filter. Okay.
yes, happy wife, happy life.
That's right.
Tis the mantra.
Tis.
Um, so not too long after that, the Vegas team got announced that it was going to be an expansion team. And that's just kind of, I was like, all right, well, that's it then. The newest team is going to be the team that I'm going to follow.
Okay.
And
So was it
that
before you
was
saw the logo?
before. No, it all got announced at the same time for the Golden
Okay.
Knights.
All
It
right.
all got announced at the same time. So I saw the logo, and ironically enough, at first when I saw, it, I was like, "Yeah, that's kind of lame," because it was just the golden helmet.
Yeah.
But I've grown to enjoy the logo over time. I enjoy it a lot more now. I respect it a lot more now. But I think
Yeah.
that just goes with anything,
I think
you know.
everybody does though. Everybody
Yeah,
respects it a lot more now than they did probably when they first saw it.
right. Unless you're the Browns. The Browns don't even have a logo. They got some weird elf guy on the field, and like I
Yeah.
get he's got historical value, but Cleveland, do some rebranding or something. Come on,
And
bring
they
it up to the
just
modern
did.
day.
That was their rebrand. They resurrected their old logo with that elf guy on the field.
No. That's why they are where they are.
Brownies.
And I mean, it could also be that they pay $230 million guaranteed to Deshaun Watson, who is awful. But,
Yeah. Unfortunate turn of
dodged
events
a bullet
for,
there.
yeah, yeah.
Dodged a bullet there.
All the Houston Texans fans, sigh a large relief breath.
Oh, we can thank a lot to Cleveland. Because of Cleveland, we're at where we are. Three of
Yeah.
the picks that Cleveland gave us for Deshaun Watson turned into Will Anderson Jr. and Derek Stingley Jr.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, Cleveland is the reason why Houston is where they're at.
Yeah.
They jump started it. So,
So you have a lot to be thankful for when you think of Cleveland.
oh, they can continue to be right where they are, and I would appreciate them for the rest of the time.
Very grateful. Very
Very
grateful.
grateful. Very grateful. Someone's got to be at the bottom, unfortunately.
Big
You
thank
know?
you for those teams that fill the bottom seats. We appreciate you.
Yes. Yes.
We need you.
We need a
All
good
right.
villain just like we need a good hero.
So we've got PWHL on the horizon. We've got NHL season in the back rearview mirror, and we've got the NFL in the windshield.
Yes.
Summer training has begun. We're
Yes.
starting to do some camp work. We're going to be digging in, sharing some info on how our teams are looking throughout the next couple months as we get ready for the fall football start, the kickoff. So I'm looking forward to it, man. It's going to be fun.
Yes.
There's some
It's
good
gonna be a
talk
good
coming
time.
out of Buffalo, good chemistry amongst these new arrivals. Heard some good things from Joshy Allen talking about how excited he is to have. I did not expect him to be. I didn't expect the talk to be about CJ Gardner or Sauce Gardner's energy coming into
CJ
camp.
Gardner Johnson.
Gardner Johnson, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. It's okay.
And he is evidently he's bringing in a lot of excitement and energy. So, and
Yeah.
that is
Hmm.
contagious. So hopefully that
Yeah, we'll see.
continues.
We'll see.
Hopefully that
We'll see.
continues and brings all that tide of energy comes up with all the boats with it. We'll see.
I'm not a big fan of Gardner Johnson, the
Gardner
player.
Johnson. Gardner, I
No,
know.
it's not a Buffalo thing. It's a Gardner Johnson. He was on three teams last year for a reason. So we'll see.
So we'll see if
We'll
there's
see.
if
He
Joe
got cut
Brady
from
is the new
Houston.
coach. Oh, did he? That's right.
He
I knew
got
that.
cut from Houston. So, I mean, if you can't get along with Coach D'Amico Ryans, that says a lot about your character.
Yeah.
Because Coach is Miko is a player's coach through and through. That's the one thing the players love about him is that he stands up for the players first and foremost. So
Mm-hmm.
if D'Amico Ryan says you can't cut it here, that says a lot about your character. And then Jim Harbaugh in Baltimore cut him as well, like 3 weeks later.
So
So I mean,
so
we'll
is
see.
this going to be a redemption story? Is it going to be the
It could
same
be.
old from
It
him?
could be. Hopefully he's learned his lesson.
The Buffalo
Don't
fans
talk
are
about
hoping
other
it will be.
players' money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't talk about your teammates' money because that's none of your business, dude. It's none of your business.
Is that what he was getting into hot water for in both
That's what happened
places?
in Houston. I don't know
Oh.
about in Baltimore, but in Houston, that's what it was. Is he was calling out Jalen Petrie, who is arguably one of the best slot corner defensive backs in this league. And he's like, "Oh, I should be making more money than that guy, and why am I making more money than him? Why does he make more than me?" Yada yada. Well, you can't do that into a place you just stepped into.
Hmm.
You're gonna start talking about your teammates' money right out of the gate. That's not a good look. Not a good
Yeah.
look.
Yeah.
But
And I
hopefully, for Buffalo's sake, he's learned his lesson.
hopefully
Hopefully, for Buffalo's sake, because he's not a
hopefully.
bad player. He's not a bad player. He's just got an ego about himself.
Hmm. Yeah, I've heard about trash talking. I've heard he's a
Yes,
pretty good trash talker.
yes,
So
I've heard that as well.
I'm not a fan of trash talk unless it's done in a way that I feel good about, which
It's got to
sounds
be
weird to
tasteful.
say.
It's got to be
Yeah.
tasteful.
Yeah. It's
It's
gotta
not degrading.
it's gotta have high positive regard for the individual you're talking to and at the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
time be playful. Be antagonistic, but antagonistic in a way that has
Like
the
Philip
mutual
Rivers.
respect. Yeah.
Like the
Yeah,
way
yeah.
Philip Rivers does it.
Yes. And every guy he's trash talking to they can give each other pats on the back as they're coming off the field. because they respect each other.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
All right, man. Well, we're gonna wrap this episode of Beer to Banter with the foreknowledge that we will be digging into the football season yet to come and all the good
Yes.
stuff. Folks, check out the comments for the PWHL links. Let us know what team you're going to be supporting. Love to hear it. And maybe next episode we'll be talking about World Cup too. How the U.S. is doing
Yeah.
there. It'll be fun.
First game against Paraguay, 4-0, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. Wait,
Let's
4-0
go.
or 4-1?
No, they shut him out. I thought it was 4-0.
I thought they scored a late goal in overtime
Did they?
in extra time.
Oh, did they?
I think so. I think
I didn't
somebody
get to
told me
watch the
that.
game. That's
I'll
the
have
only
to
game
take
I
a
didn't
look.
get to watch, ironically.
Yeah, I'm old man. I go to sleep at like 9:30 and I got to trust the highlights the next day. So, all right, Wes, we'll catch him up next time.
Yes,
Anything?
sir. Stay bearded.
Keep bantering. Keep the beards.